There is always a controversy in NASCAR about the win it and you are in element of the elimination process. This may appear unfair to drivers who maintain consistency throughout the season but do not benefit from it. However, the format is what it is. And now that HMS is on the receiving end of the stick, Dale Jr. had some harsh words for them. However, there is an advantage to this. The format keeps things surprising and exciting, making no driver safe or out of contention. However, thanks to the rule, we have Kyle Larson, who was P2 in regular season rankings, in the elimination. And while there were initial talks about him being a major title contender, it's unclear whether the #5 will even make it to Phoenix. Dale Earnhardt Jr. recently advised Rick Hendrick's driver to proceed with care. Larson is the most successful driver in the 2024 season, with 7 victories in 35 races, his second highest total in a season. The #5 has also been consistent, with 14 top 5s and 17 top 10s. However, he has fallen prey to the elimination structure, with -7 points heading into Martinsville. This is the case when Larson was plus 35 points entering the Homestead race, but a P13 finish put him under. And this is the first time in the 2024 playoffs that he has fallen below the cut line. Kyle Larson must be disappointed since Joey Logano is already in the championship 4. In terms of metrics, the Penske driver hasn't had a very good season. Logano had only 6 top 5 finishes this season and was nearly eliminated when Alex Bowman was disqualified. However, by winning in Las Vegas, he has entered the title race, whilst Kyle Larson is fighting to go to the next round. Even Tyler Reddick wasn't having the finest playoffs. In 5 playoff races, he finished 20th or below, but a win at Homestead has moved him into the top 4. With only 2 berths left, it will be a close race at Martinsville, and the 2021 Cup champion may be eliminated. Dale Earnhardt Jr. recently discussed this. He said, "Kyle Larson had an up-and-down day, and now with this win, the playoff picture, he's -7. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. And look, I like Larson, and I think that he's a..." We were saying, I guess last week we thought he was the championship favorite. What is this with this system, man? And I mean, if Larson doesn't make the Final 4, that'll be quite a disappointment for that team, but it's realistic. And if that were the case, NASCAR would face a lot of criticism, according to Jr. And the appreciation and criticism won't be forgiving around this either. When your format is aggressive, you're going to hear from people who don't approve of it or approve of it regardless. But there are some admirers of the system as well, and expectedly it involves Denny Hamlin, who finds himself in a possible must-win situation entering the next race. Hamlin recently said, "It just shows the system and that you all got a chance until that last cutoff race is over with, and so it doesn't matter how far back you are in points, you just gotta find a way to win." Larson's troubles may not be done yet though. As we all know, Larson has recently dominated short tracks, and Martinsville is NASCAR's shortest track. Denny Hamlin, on the other hand, is a short track maestro who is as ravenous for a win. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson may face off in a close race at Martinsville. Denny Hamlin has been the most consistent driver on short tracks. Since 2021, Hamlin has had an average finish of 8.6 on short tracks, with 14 top 5s and 16 top 10s. Larson isn't far behind, with a 9.1 average finish, 4 victories, 12 top 5s, and 15 top 10s. However, if Martinsville statistics are compared, Denny Hamlin wins by a wide margin. Hamlin is the active driver with the most wins on the course. The #11 has an average finish of 10.2, with 5 victories here in his career. Larson, on the other hand, has only 1 win and a 16.7 average finish. And this has made the HMS driver nervous about joining the race. Larson previously said, "I just haven't had dominating speed there, and I think my car is still much better than I am there. I think we'll have a good car, a great car, and we'll have a good shot, but it's just a tough place. And it's not a place that's ever really been comfortable for me, even with the success that we've had. It's a tough, really tough track for me." To make matters worse, all of the drivers he'll be competing against had finished ahead of him. Where guys like Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney lately, Chase Elliott, and William Byron, they've had dominating speed, and those are all of the guys that I'm going up against, Larson added. If it comes down to points, Christopher Bell currently leads with plus 27. However, that margin may not be enough, as he has the second lowest average finish, 16.2, among playoff drivers at Martinsville. William Byron has an average finish of 13.8 and a plus 7-point total. However, they aren't the only concerns. While Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott may appear out of the running if it comes down to points, they have had far stronger finishes than Larson. In fact, Blaney has the best average finish, 8.8 among the field, surpassing Denny Hamlin. Larson would be relieved to know that his P2 result at the track in the spring might be translated into a win this time. His success at Bristol demonstrates his talent on the short track. Overall, it will be a difficult battle in Martinsville. Which two drivers do you believe will progress? As previously stated, Hendrick Motorsports began the round of 8 in excellent form, but the past 2 weekends have left them in a dangerous situation coming into the penultimate race of the 2024 season. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and William Byron intended to create history by bringing 3 Hendrick Chevrolets to Phoenix to compete for the title. But victories from Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick, along with some bad luck for the trio of buddies, puts them on the periphery for the time being. Christopher Bell is set to point his way into the Championship 4, leaving 1 slot for 3 Hendrick drivers, with Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin all aiming for the finals. During the most recent episode of The Teardown, NASCAR insiders Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi helped Hendrick understand how quickly things changed for the company. "What a tough few weeks for Hendrick," Bianchi said. "They leave the Roval. The race ends at the Roval. They've got 4 cars, they think, in the semi-final round. Rick's talking about like, hey, I've never had 3 cars in the Championship 4 before. We've got a good chance." No organization, really consistently, has been as dominant this year as they've been great. They're riding high. Then, Bowman gets thrown out. Okay, you're down to 3. Now you look at the situation. We've got Reddick and Logano locked in. We're going to pencil in Bell, so that's 3. That means 2 of Hendrick's drivers, 2 of Hendrick's 3 drivers, are out. Possibly, maybe even all 3. Man, that's a tough swing in a few weeks for that organization. Unfortunately, the tragedy appears to have begun when Alex Bowman was disqualified during the Charlotte Roval, and things have only been worse for the team since then. Elliott was involved in a collision that left him in a must-win scenario at Homestead, Miami and Martinsville, and while Larson and Byron have been excellent, they may be too separated to make it to Phoenix. Hendrick Motorsports has had an outstanding 2024 season, but if they are unable to send a driver to the Championship 4, it would be a complete tragedy for one of NASCAR's finest teams. The organization has had several victories this season, but missing out on a chance to battle for the championship would undoubtedly be discouraging. However, the team, particularly Larson, still has high expectations for this season. Kyle Larson is even proud of what transpired on Sunday at Homestead. To ordinary people, that may seem strange given that he spun racing Ryan Blaney for the lead while taking lapper Austin Dillon 3 wide, but the 2021 Cup Series winner believes he willed himself to have a shot in the first place. Larson had resigned himself to finishing laps down with a vehicle damaged by a flat right rear, which had forced him into the wall and destroyed his rear diffuser toward the conclusion of Stage 1. The vehicle was troublesome for most of the second stage. Larson also believes he will need to win the race outright since one of the other 6 may win, making his points pathway less plausible. "I think for me, I'm just going to try to execute my job the best that I can and not make mistakes and keep myself in the hunt," Larson said. "I'm confident the pit crew is going to keep us in the hunt, and I don't think there are as many teams that do as good a job as we do with strategy. I think I've got a great team that can execute in all those areas." It's tough because you look at all the guys that are left in the playoffs. The 2 teams that have the least chance at winning Martinsville have already won in the round of 8, so it comes down to Bell, William, Denny, Chase, and myself. But everyone else left is really good at Martinsville and are probably going to be really good, and one of those 6 are going to win the race, so it makes it feel like a must-win in a lot of ways. It's going to be fun and exciting, and I think the fans are going to be in for a treat because it's going to come down to the end like it always does. Hopefully we're part of that group fighting for the win and a good points day, and we'll see how it plays out. What are your thoughts? Who will be the last 2 drivers reaching the Final 4 this weekend?